If I stumble, if I fall, if I ever lose it all, when my back hits the wall, I'll still be standing. If I crumble till I'm gone.
Hey everyone, this is Chèrie, and yes, we're out at the farm, and so you might see some horses walking behind us. Now they're camera shy. They were all around when we were getting set up, and now they're all camera shy, so they're hanging over there. So today we are going to talk about bergamot essential oil. That's right, this amazing oil. And so in your desk reference, see, you've got your desk reference. These are great. This is one of your best books to get to know about the oils. And you want to see? There you go. Yeah, you want to see? And so it has sections, and you can see the amazing aspects of it, because it talks about, and this is actually what it looks like, and this is actually ripe. This is the completed version. Okay, and I will actually be at the orchard where we get our bergamot essential oil in April. So I'm very, very excited to be able to go visit there. And I believe it's in Italy, so I'm thrilled about that. So let's go into our amazing bergamot oil. What are the constituents? Well, the constituents are limonene at 30 to 45%. And if you've watched any of my other work, you've known that I've talked a lot about limonene and how its amazing attributes for our immune system. Multiple studies done on limonene. So if you want to learn more about the tremendous research on limonene and in naturally occurring, not the synthetic version that pharmaceutical companies tried to create, but the actual organic version that come right from our plants. Okay, definitely. There you go. You like that one? Whoa, interesting, huh? Okay, so definitely email me, and I can send you the what's called the National Medical Alert newsletter. And yeah, now you see both sides of the brain. How's that? Is that good for you? Yeah, I thought you'd like that. So you notice how it went right side, then the left side, then back to the right side, and then that was it, complete. Okay, so limonene at 30 to 45%. Then linalool acetate at 22 to 36%. Then linalool at 3 to 15%. Then of course gamma-terpenine at 6 to 10%, and beta-pinene at 5.5 to 9.5%. These are all very strong percentages of constituents, and they have lots of attributes. And of course, the very first tea, Earl Grey, is made from the leaves of bergamot, and also from the actual flavoring of it. Okay, and the very first, even before Napoleon's time, the first eau de toilette or eau de parfum actually had bergamot in it from all the recipes. So it's pretty exciting and pretty fun. So let's talk a little bit about what are the aspects of it, in addition to, of course, being in tea. And yeah, how are you doing? You like that? In addition to being in tea, and in addition to, of course, being one of the main essential oils, or plants, if you will, that is used in multiple, a myriad of perfumes. Well, I'd like to go to a little bit about our world and the unhealthy microbes that invade our world, and then of course invade us. And we all know that there's certain things that antibiotics just can't respond to very well. And so that's where our oils come in. That's where nature comes in, and nature comes in very, very strongly. And so what we have, well, what is bergamot good for? Well, how many of you, I know that in our family, when we were stressed, we would get these sores all around our lips and in our mouth. I would get them inside, and they would hurt so bad. And let me tell you, if I had this oil, I'd have no challenge taking and putting it directly on those spots, and it would bring great comfort, great relief, and I think I'd find them leaving a lot faster than if I didn't. The other thing that it's very good for is a number of unhealthy microbes that can invade our body that are not friendly. And let's talk about our intestines now as well, because this has been used in history. Definitely regarding, say, if you're eating a lot of sushi or raw fish, or you eat a lot of vegetables that is raw, or a lot of fruit that's raw, or say that you go to another country and you're consuming a lot of things that you normally wouldn't consume, or you'll buy from street vendors because it looks so fresh and delicious. Well, there's little hitchhikers that are connected to all of that, and then they implant themselves in our intestines. And if you happen to have some bergamot, especially the Vitality version, definitely get that in a capsule and just take it straight down, or if you want to, make a strong tea with it and take it straight down, or take a little, like a tablespoon of coconut oil or avocado oil or olive oil and put about, I'd say 20 drops in, and just take it straight down that way. And I think you'll notice, do that for a few days in a row, and I think you'll notice some nice positive effects in your whole intestinal tract. So let's move, and I want to move directions a little bit when we talk about bergamot, okay? And it having to do with how our emotions and how it affects our physical behavior. So the smell is really, really nice. The smell is crisp. It almost has a little bit of a green smell, if you know what I mean by green, like the color of the fruit. But it has a soft, fruity undertone. And that's why so many people like this. Now, one of the things to be aware of, it is photosensitive if it is not fucocoumarin free. Now it is available to get the fucocoumarin free bergamot, which means that the sun sensitive molecules are taken out of it. It does not affect the rest of the chemistry, just that it doesn't make it so photosensitive. But if you have the original bergamot, I can tell you, you do not want to put it like it's a cloudy day here, so I'd have no problem rubbing it here and here. But if it was a sunny day and it was summer, I absolutely would not do that and go outside unless I wanted to look like Groucho Marx, or like I was maybe a teenager caught necking in the back of a vehicle, if you know what I mean. Because what'll happen is we'll get these giant over sun areas where it's red and purpley, and is not very pleasant, and it takes a long time for it to get rid of. Well, how you doing back there? You want some more? Okay. All right. It's very interesting because that one normally doesn't hang around very much. That one's, oh, now you're coming back too? Okay. All right. Here you go. These are the young ones, by the way. How's that? Is that good? Want some more? Is that good? Okay. All right. That's Melania. Okay. There we go. And so, yep, those are our young ones, and which fits perfectly for this, by the way. So let's talk about people who have a hard time falling asleep at night. People who have a hard time ramping down, if you will, where I call it downshifting, where their emotions are racing, their brain is racing, their thoughts are racing, and they can't quiet it down. Definitely, this is a good one to start to put in the diffuser in the evening or all day. If you have a really stressful day, I'd absolutely put this one in the diffuser and have it be running. No problem at all. It'd also be a nice one to take a couple of drops with perhaps some lavender or some sandalwood. It'd be really nice with some sandalwood, and take a handful of Epsom salts and drop some of the bergamot in there in your hand with some sandalwood oil. If you're going to take a bath, and just swish it through the bath water as it's running and get in, and you literally can feel the stress leaving your body. It's really a phenomenal shift. Or if you don't have sandalwood on hand, you can absolutely try cedarwood, or you can try balsam fir. You could try pine. Any of the wonderful tree oils would be really exquisite for you to work with that in your Epsom salts. Don't just set it and sprinkle it in the bath water. It'll sit on top. And then of course, when you go to sit in the tub, well, part of your body is going to be exposed to it. Yeah, you don't really want to do that. So put it in some Epsom salts and just kind of swish it around a little bit. And I think that if you don't have Epsom salts, you can even use a little baking soda, okay, and swish it around. So let's talk about some more that I'd really like to talk with you about. And I'm going to go to one of my favorite books here, okay? And that is Aromatherapy for Healing the Spirit. In this book, actually, bergamot oil is one of the first things I actually read in this book. I was just kind of guided to go and read it many years ago. And I didn't even read the book, actually. It just kind of had an inspiration to grab this book off a shelf and read it about bergamot oil, and I found it quite revealing. It comes from the tropical parts of Asia, and of course southern Italy, Sicily, and the Ivory Coast. And actually it dates back even prior to Christopher Columbus and how they used it. And it actually originates its name from the Italian city Bergamo in Lombardy, okay, where it was first produced. And so let's talk a little bit about it. What it is known for is its ability to be relaxing yet distinctly uplifting. And it is also known for, especially they said it's cooling for overheated emotions. And they call it as refreshing and antidepressive. Now, what's really powerful about this is that it smooths out the flow of the qi energy, for those of you who are into traditional Chinese medicine. And the energetic property relates directly to its ability to harmonize the liver qi, which has to do with anger, rage, and we'll get more into that. And this function is really important because it maintains the free and even flow throughout the body and mind and emotions. This is really key. And here's what else. When the smooth flow of qi energy becomes disrupted, it affects immediately the process of digestion, resulting in either overeating, emotional eating, and nervous tension. So if you are a person who is an emotional eater, if you are a person who tends to just eat too much, I absolutely would not hesitate using bergamot oil, okay? It also works for abdominal distension, like when you have a distended or bloated tummy, and it works really well for a colicky situation when it comes from indigestion. So it says if you mix it with oils like coriander and chamomile and fennel, it really helps release and create circulation in that whole digestive process when it comes from a nervousness and emotional stress. Now, this is the also thing that they said it's really helpful. It's very helpful for any skin challenges, especially really oily skin challenges, but put it on at night, okay? Put it on at bedtime. And excessively oily scalp. So if you've got a really oily scalp, and if you've got a really oily skin, chest, really oily back, where you've got that really thick, waxy like oil, put bergamot right on it. Just keep it out of your eyes, and of course don't dump it in your ears. And it will really help a lot with that, start to digest that and shift that. It also said that it's very powerful because it has an antispasmodic nature. So it's very good for nervous anxiousness and nervous depression. And it's really helpful. This is the Italian researcher Paolo Rovesti. He's a psychiatrist. He noted huge benefits for patients that were undergoing psychiatric care. Bergamot oil's psychological action, it said, depends upon its ability to literally move and create harmony in stagnant qi energy. And he noted that this condition manifests as tension, irritability, frustration, and if it's never released or moved through, it then turns into a depression. And this is all due to accumulated stress and repressed emotion. So I know there's some people are going, oh my gosh, the light bulbs are going on, okay? And it said the emotion that is often involved is unexpressed anger or suppressed or depressed anger. And this is of course we know anger will store itself in the organ of the liver. So anger, now this is a key part. Anger and frustration, when it is unresolved, literally oppresses what's called the ethereal soul, or our soul. All right? And then if it is allowed to continue, what happens is that then it moves into depressing our mind and depressing our spirit. So it literally permeates those aspects of us that are beneath the surface of the iceberg, if you will. The huge part of who we are as beings, but they're not the part that's commonly seen in our world. Okay? And so, but our behaviors, here's the key. Our behaviors are a direct reflection of what's beneath the surface. So when we have this depressed anger, when we have this repressed emotion, frustration, and we don't have a healthy way to release it in a healthy environment, what happens is we literally stuff it in because for whatever reason we don't feel it's safe to express it in a healthy manner, and then it turns against us. And here's the other thing, and I want to take it one step further. What it does, literally, it's much like lavender oil in that it encourages the release of pent-up feelings. Feelings that not only lead to depression and insomnia, but anxiety and mood swings. And sudden mood swings. Now, there's people who will call that a name called bipolar. But in reality, it's where your emotions and your thoughts are polarizing. Complete. You've heard the word polar opposites, where they're polarizing. And then that part of you, the emotional part of you, flips from here to here to here to here. And you never know within yourself what's going to set it off. You just don't know. And sometimes you can feel it coming and sometimes you can't. And it's all about this polarization that we need to restore harmony and an even flow of energy, of communication. And I would call it the life force energy, or you can simply call it love of self. And truly, sometimes we just don't know how to let this frustration and this anger out. We just, in a way that's healthy and in a way that's okay. So what it says is that, like lavender, bergamot oil encourages the healthy release of pent-up feelings. It helps also, in addition, to redirect nervous energy away from unproductive and addictive behaviors. So if you are a person who would be called a little bit like OCD, where you have this pattern running, or you have addictive behaviors, whether it's substance or shopping or TV or you name it, whatever your addictive behaviors are, this is an oil that you could definitely use. And I would definitely diffuse it too while you're sleeping, and maybe add lavender or jasmine or cedarwood or any of the oils we've already talked about. And you can even add it even more to peace and calming if you like that. That's a really nice one for a high level of nervousness and high levels of anxiousness. Bergamot with peace and calming. Put those in your diffuser while you're sleeping. Okay, and you could also put that like on your low back area before bedtime to help release where you hold and lock in that tension. Okay. And what it does is it helps to redirect, again, this nervous energy away from unproductive and addictive behavior, helping us to rediscover spontaneity and optimism. So sometimes what we run into is we are so used to our norm being tense and tight that we don't know what it's like to not be that way, because that's our new norm. And we don't even realize how tight we're holding ourselves. But the truth is that is not healthy, but it has become our norm. So what are oils like bergamot oil, this amazing oil that has been around for literally centuries and used for centuries in many, many ways, is one of the best things that we can do for ourselves. Very simply, very budget friendly, and truly a gift from Mother Nature herself, if you will, to lift us out of things that don't serve us anymore. And if you're finding yourself in really, really deep despair, I'd dive into the bergamot right away. Because and if you're just truly willing, if you put your thoughts in the place of, I am willing to get myself out of this. I am willing to be lifted out of whatever it is that feel like it's got its grips in me and just pulling me down, mentally and emotionally and cognitively, to where I can't seem to, I can't seem to see the light of day anymore, figuratively. If you are finding yourself like that, grab your bergamot oil, smell it, inhale it, breathe it. I'm serious, breathe it. And what you'll find, if you allow it to be so, if you have the true intention to get yourself out of the darkness that you find yourself like you're sucked under quicksand emotionally, if you allow yourself, you'll find yourself almost what it feels like is you're being lifted out of that which is sucking you down. So I think you'll really enjoy bergamot oil. I really do. And remember, if you're going to wear it on a sunny day outside, and a bright sunny day, just put it where you've got some clothing over it, or definitely put a sunscreen on, okay? And you're going to notice amazing, amazing results, gently and lovingly, this gift. And what are the key words? Actually, I didn't even share with you those key words. So let me share with you the key words of bergamot. Release, relax, and uplift. There you go. So be willing to release that which you feel victim to. Release that which you feel captive of. Release that which you feel in bondage of. Just be willing to release it. Be willing to allow your body to let go of the grip. Okay? And just relax. Allow the oil to go in and communicate with your cells on a molecular and biochemical level to relax. And then allow yourself to be lifted up with our amazing bergamot essential oil.